All right, Floyd, so I understand that you started out at a pretty low place for the whole beginning of your life, many decades even. A lot of depression, low energy, constant struggling. How was it that you worked your way up out of that? Because I know you have worked your way quite a ways up out of that. What did it take? What did you do?
Well, first and foremost, I educated myself on the issue. You know what I mean? What are smart people doing? What do intelligent people have to say about how they programmed their reality? Or were there other people like me who struggled or suffered or had an inner dialogue that was pretty much defeating to the reality that they'd like to create? And over time I just steadily practiced those things, and it wasn't easy at first and it felt a little bit dead, but I had to start kind of rebuilding or regenerating the imagination muscles. And
It felt dead. You mean like it didn't feel true as you were trying to manifest it? Or something like that?
Yeah, it didn't feel true, it didn't feel real, and there was like an internal mechanism that basically wants to reject something that's false, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're going to tell yourself that you're happy and you're really not happy, it doesn't feel very good or very strong or like you're doing anything, you know what I mean?
So you did it anyway?
I did do it anyway.
And how do you do it? Did you write affirmations? Did you speak out loud? Did you visualize?
Yeah, I basically tried to cover like all of the basics. You're just starting out, you know what I mean? So you're just trying to create affirmations, and then maybe you experiment with writing them. Maybe you're saying them throughout the day. But as time would go on, it would just be that my practice of playing imagination on the self that I would like to be or the results that I'd like to get just grew, just through putting more attention in that direction, focusing more on the thoughts and the statements and the feelings that go with the reality you want to create. It just attracts more. By the law of attraction, it will attract more. And as time goes on, you develop like a mass and a velocity. And so as time goes on, the manifestations have to occur by scientific, law,
Mm-hmm. Anything else that you did?
Yeah, I'll just kind of see what I can pull out of the reservoirs here. You'll hear a lot of talk about, you really want to get into the state that you want to be in. You know what I mean? So, and as you
mean like the feeling state?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So that's why you want to strongly and boldly make the statements of the reality you want to create as if they were already present in your life. And the more you do so, the more you're actually creating the physiological reaction that actually releases the kinds of like chemicals, hormones, and essentially the energies that will call that reality into beings. We've all heard it said, happy thoughts create happy cells, and that's a scientific reality. So essentially what we have to do is think more of the kinds of thoughts that would cause our own internal energetic matrix and cellular makeup to respond with that reality, which it does. That's what's so beautiful about the mind-body connection, is that it's an instant, reaction thing. So basically, even if I wasn't feeling happy, or if I wasn't feeling healthy, or if I wasn't feeling well or energetic or anything, I would just start to play around with the ideas of what does it feel like to feel those things? What does it feel like to feel physically strong? What does it feel like to feel happy or safe or calm? Let alone like powerful, or any of the things that we really want. The more I played with it, the stronger it became a reality in my life. The more prevalent those thoughts were, the more prevalent that reality. So I just kept at it. I just keeping at it. And at this point, I mean, it's pretty amazing. I'm getting instantaneous manifestations, not only in what I'm receiving back from life on a material plane, but in my own like personal experience with my own body, my own attitudes, my own feelings. And this is like a miracle because like so many other people, I was a person back in the day who was literally a prisoner to my own torturer, you know what I mean? And feeling like there was no escape. The negative thoughts, the browbeating of my own existence, the pain, the discomfort, the misalignment was so overwhelming, so completely dominating that it's hard to focus on anything else, let alone an exact opposite thought, which, you know, you may not be able to go with that right away. Most of us can't. If you're feeling completely miserable, or if you're in pain, you can't just think, oh, I feel great, I'm not in pain, and have that work. It doesn't work like that. You may have to take the ascension process, which is, you know, we all know the ladder. What feels a little bit better than where I am from here? And then you just focus on that. And that's where you start with things like, oh, well, you start looking at what is positive, or what could be positive, or what's not so bad. As soon as you can have that feeling, oh, well, this isn't so bad, or, well, this is what's positive, you create an instant uplifting energy. If you can keep following that ladder up, it'll take you all the way back up to happiness and stuff. And so I've had to, like, you know, learn these various approaches towards, you know, achieving the state of being that I wanted in my life, as well as with how I felt.
Mm-hmm. And did you, as I understand, you transformed your lifestyle pretty significantly as well. What kind of changes did you make?
Geez. Which point are you talking about, though? Because, I mean, I've gone through multiple
you
transformations.
used to not have energy, you used to be depressed,
Oh.
not super radiant. So what physical lifestyle changes do you feel like were instrumental in making that shift?
Oh, holy crap. Okay. Instrumental for me, as would be for anyone, had to be well, I'm gonna be like exercise, you know what I mean? Exercise, meditation, proper prayer, visualization work, affirmation work. I know you said physically, but I guess what transformed in my life is that instead of continuing in patterns that would continue to uphold the reality that I had before, which was one of pain, one of victimhood, one of powerlessness, one of panic and fear, I replaced it with empowering activities, things that would actually go directly after those negative thoughts and feelings, you know. And honestly, rebuilding yourself physically, rebuilding yourself mentally, cultivating and growing and regenerating the muscles that you have both spiritually and on a material plane is like absolutely key. So, you know, I just basically became a full-time student, a full-time practitioner. You know, I started studying like crazy, reading like crazy, listening and watching discourses like crazy, just practicing. And I noticed that, you know, just in the crossing over from feeling more like a victim and powerless to just doing something about it seemed to make, like, you know, a huge difference. I'm not sure if that answered your question quite how you were looking.
Sure. And did nutrition make a big difference at all?
I'm sorry I didn't mention that. That was like right next to exercise and meditation and visualization is nutrition. Yeah, nutrition has been absolutely huge. I'm a former super fat person. You know, you know, and, you know, like a near 300-pound person, I, you know, ate the worst foods, had the worst health as a result, and felt completely like shit. And, so we're talking about a full conversion now to where I went from the worst diet to like a really good diet. And I'm not a complete freak about it. I still imbibe some of the poison, but for the most part, I keep it, you know, in the realm of what I've learned that would actually be good for your body, good for your energy zones. I mean, because that's what happens. Eventually, you really make the connection between nutrition and your feeling. And once you get feeling good enough, because you've been eating right, because you've been operating your body right, you've been operating your mind right, you get really addicted to that good feeling. You get really addicted to the drugs or that your body releases as a result of you operating it right. And eventually the addiction to that good feeling will really outweigh and overshadow any of the previous addictions we had for these other things that actually lower our vibration and kind of take away from, you know, our overall good feeling.
Mm-hmm. And what's your diet like these days?
It's largely raw vegan, largely, you know, I'm trying to incorporate as much leafy greens as I can in there, as well as anything else that's actually good for me, so lots of superfoods and such. But again, you know, my lifestyle at this point is one where I'm still living very, you know, frugally, and utilizing the resources.
Because you don't have a cent to your name, pretty much, right?
Right, yeah, and
so,
you know,
frugally, to say the least.
so a good amount of the time, I get to use my poverty as an excuse to eat the crap that we're not supposed to eat. But I have a really good balance. So for me, I end up still getting to thrive despite the pizza I eat sometimes or whatever. But more and more,
because you're constantly walking around outside, you get tons of miles every day.
Well, the walking is just, honestly, that's not even like a drop in the bucket compared to all the other things I do. That's just like one thing. I'm sure if all I did was walk, this wouldn't, like, maintaining weight wouldn't be such a challenge. It's because I'm also like really going at it hard with like a full tilt, you know, become a stud program kind of thing, you know.
Which includes what?
Man, we got, you know, running, sports, strength drills, plyometrics, lots of stretching, lots of flexibility cultivation, lots of just generalized movement. But I mean, I'm climbing trees, I'm climbing hills, I'm just trying to incorporate anything and everything that I can think of or that the universe sends my way that would give me a greater full level articulation of my body's strength and abilities. And you know, I'm coming from a place where, I mean, I've been really in a bad place physically, injuries, illnesses, just ill health overall. So I'm still recovering, I'm still regenerating, and I'm still rehabilitating. You know, I used to play football and I did all kinds of damage and all kinds of things, abused the crap out of myself. So I'm still a person who's very much in recovery, but making tremendous results. I mean, you know, I can run a pretty, you know, respectable distance. I mean, I already have to. I'm just getting stronger and fitter and faster and better all the time. And as a result, my mind and my connection to spirit is also, you know, becoming like more harmonized, stronger, better. And it's just a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to have been a dying, diseased person and to have been like brought all the way back up to like this beautiful place where you know you're not only going to make it, but you're going to be a fucking superstar when it comes to your ability to really embody and represent health and happiness and well-being and all that stuff, you know. I think one of the key elements that I really want to emphasize here is the importance of strongly focusing on how you want to be, and how you want to feel, and what that's like. This has to become the dominating reality of our existence. It should be what we're thinking about all day, every day, until it becomes second nature to think that way. The fact of the matter is that as long as we keep doing this dance with like the old paradigm, the old reality, that's us still holding on to the old self and the old limitations. And those old thoughts, that 60,000 thoughts a day that we have 90-some% of repeated every day, is what has to be reprogrammed and what has to go out the window. And the way that that happens is through the consistent practice of focusing on and cultivating the vision of who you want to be and how you want to feel and what you want to be doing. And so this becomes your most important work, your number one job. And you do this all day, every day, or as much as you can. You know, don't break yourself, you know what I mean? I've probably been a bit extreme about it, but you need to make this such a priority that nothing else really, there is no close second place. Every day. Who do you want to be? How does that person feel? What do they act like? What do they say? What kind of responses do they get back from the world? And you just keep on breathing life into that vision. And as you do so, just through your focus, the universe has to create it for you. Period.